An officer on the scene says that he scattered the logs allegedly throughout his car and doused them with fluid. He backed his vehicle into the post office and lit the car on fire using a match.
Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the sweet, sweet scent of freedom. Yes, folks, these packages were just in a raging fire at the post office, which is no longer in operation. And this was a nearby distribution center, actually, where these packages of mine were actually recovered from the fire. So I'm super, super duper thankful. I do thank God, and I do thank the elements that allowed for these packages to be recovered to me, because truthfully in here we've got a huge bunch of very, very special silver, and I would have been very honestly sad to see this stuff get lost in the fire. And so I'm very, very thankful that despite the overwhelming scent of char here, I'm very, very thankful that I was able to actually recover some of these items here, and I believe all the items. I was a little bit unsure what was going to happen here, because on the tracking there was a little bit of a unsurety as far as what was going to happen, but lo and behold, I went by today and I was able to get these charred up but beautiful pieces of deliciousness that I'm going to be sharing with you, my friends. So let's go ahead and crack open into the first burnt up charred package, and we're going to make our way through everything that was missing. And I'm so thankful that this stuff showed up, because like I said, folks, we got some special pieces in here, and I know the people who sent these were even probably sadder than I was that these things got lost, because truthfully that's something that they may have had to reimburse me for, at least partially, after getting the insurance taken care of from USPS. And now, thankfully to me, I'm so thankful that I was able to get these. And to me, yeah, they're going to definitely smell of fire damage, because they were definitely in a raging 3-alarm fire. But the thing is I would much rather have the pieces in hand, smelly or not, because a lot of these pieces that I've been picking up lately have honestly been for my personal collection. I typically do not buy items for instant resale, and in fact I do not really buy any items for resale. I typically just like to buy items for myself, and this is one that I was going to be painfully sorry if I had lost this, because this is one of those types of bars that is completely irreplaceable. So I'm going to be very, very happy to go back to the seller today, because I know they were surprised to learn that this thing was sitting in a fire, and look how beautiful the condition is for something that's been in a fire. It's in basically perfect condition. So I'm very, very thankful. Despite any odd scents that might be coming from this bar, I was very happy to pick up this serial number 422 bar, because this right here is not just any Johnson, Matthey, and Mallory Canadian bar. This is actually going to be the official opening of Brampton, and this is going to be a tier 1 bar. Beautiful bar here. It has an overwhelming scent of fire and coal and char, but I'm very, very happy to be able to have that one. Look, you can just see my hands are already dirtied up from the char here on the external surfaces of these boxes. So these boxes are going to be something that I'm likely going to immediately throw away, because they're going to be stinking up the area that I'm in right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this next charred up box, and look at this. Look at the fire damage on this thing. It is really a great thing that these boxes are still intact, because it gives me a lot of confidence that the contents within here are going to be very secure. And you know, I've got to give props to all the sellers for being very, very secure about their packaging. It was able to withstand that fire. This fire was going on for over 90 minutes it took for the firefighters to put out, so it was no small fire. It actually happened through an act of arson. It's actually a former NFL player's brother who did this to make the plot more thick. Now let's go ahead and see what we got here. Thank you. And there's even a gift here. Not only did they give me a beautiful item, they gave me a gift to go along with it. How incredibly nice is that? And this is a bar that I was so sad. I just was in conversation with the sender saying, hey, I'm so sad because I really needed this bar. I don't have high hopes. I think it's in the damn fire. Well, look how extremely pristinely it was packed. It's in perfect condition still. Yes, there might be some scent there, but possibly not, because it was so nicely layered. And this is an undated, serialized Sunshine Mining 10-ounce vintage silver bar. I'm so happy to be able to add this. And look at this. They even gave me a free gift to go along with the already amazing price on the amazing bar. And what is this? This is it's got some man's face on it, and it looks like it's a England silver piece from 1937. How cool is that? It's got a little shield on it. Can't go wrong with free silver. Not only did I get an extremely good price on this bar, by the way, it was around melt value before factoring in tax. Unfortunately, here in California, you do have to pay a little bit extra to Uncle Sammy for making micro purchases, and even a 10-ounce bar is considered a micro purchase, and so that's not fun. But at the end of the day, look how soggy this is. This thing took a beating. Look at this box. Wow. That thing took a beating and a half, and look at how charred this is. This thing got hit bad by the fire. One can only imagine. And I wonder where this was in proximity to everything, but all I can say is I'm thankful that it made its way back into my collection here. Whew, the smell is overwhelming. I feel bad for the post office lady because honestly, as soon as I walked in, I got an overwhelming scent of char from all the mail that had been dropped off there. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got from this slightly moist package. You know why I think this is moist? Because the firefighters had to put out the damn fire. This thing may have literally been in flames and potentially got some water damage as well as fire damage. But let's go ahead and see what it is. This thing is like literally soggy. This bubble miller is soggy and dense. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. I was reaching out to all these sellers, by the way, who had sold me these items, letting them know what had happened. And this is another item that we expected was going to be caught in the fire. And I'm so happy that it was able to come by because this is a nice little set of 2 different Johnson Matthey rounds. And they're 2 different types, though they look very similar. When you flip them over, they're actually the Alaska rounds, but a lot of people don't know there's 2 different types of these Alaska rounds. One is going to be the 25-year anniversary, and the other is going to be the 1985 dated. So I was really happy to be able to get one of these, each of these actually, because this 1985 date I really try to seek out when I can, because that one I typically do not see as much as the 25 years one. So I was happy to be able to add that one to the stack. I was happy to be able to open up this next slightly damaged item. And let's see what it is, my friends. Let's see what it is. I do believe this is going to be a very, very nice item, but let's see what it is. We got the packing slip here, and heck yeah, it is a very nice item. This is something I was sad. I was going to be like, damn, somebody's just going to pick this up in the fire and then have fun with it. So I was happy to get this cool heads and tails adult bar. And why did I get this? Because it was just something I felt like adding on. I felt like adding this on. You know, why did I feel like adding it on? Because it was a reasonable price and I was already buying this. So I figured, why the heck not? This is a 1985 happy birthday round. And flip it over and you got a sunshine mining reverse. So that to me was very, very cool. Something I had to have because I don't believe I had one of those at all. I know I didn't have one of those. And so I said, hey, let me tack that on there as well. So I was really happy these didn't get damaged in the fire as well. Super happy actually. Let's go ahead and see what else we got. This final package here is going to be hopefully what I was expecting it to be. It's actually, I hope, 2 proof sets by Sunshine Mining. And this is something we were very sad that, hey, if this isn't going to show up, this is going to be a huge loss here for both the sender as well as myself. And absolutely that is what this is. And boy, these I'm worried are going to be definitely a little bit stinky due to the fire damage because these are porous. You know, they're actual binder sets. And the thing is might be a little bit damaged, if that makes sense, because there's definitely a smell exuding from this box. Not to mention that this is not just silver here. So we're not just concerned with whether or not these items have melted, which it would be highly unlikely in such a short period of time, but we're worried about how these things are going to smell. And since I myself am smelling like a raging fire, I cannot really tell you whether or not these smell like fire, but to me, they actually smell pretty fresh. It smells very fresh. I wish I smelled like these binders, to be honest. So these have been kept in very nice condition, and I'm going to want to probably keep them in a little bit better condition as well, because right now I've got a lot of ashy stuff around me. So I'm going to first, after I stop this video, get rid of this ashiness, then maybe wipe these things down a little bit so that they're not stinky. Wipe myself down a little bit. But before I do that, let me show you what I was able to pick up here and why I'm so thankful that all this stuff was recovered, because these are no joke, man. None of this stuff is low premium stuff. I would have been devastated to lose any of these items. And I mean, my estimated value on this stuff, at least $2,500, I would think, is what I kind of calculate up to, and that's kind of what I paid. That's not what I feel the market value is. I typically try to buy things a little bit below market value. And look at this. This thing is actually broken, and that probably was broken from the start. Am I going to complain about it? Heck no. I'm not going to complain about anything. This was amazing that all of this stuff was recovered. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to complain about the smell. There's nothing I'm going to complain about. All I can tell you is I'm super duper thankful that I was able to pick up my two 1982 proof sets by Sunshine Mining, 4173, and by the way, 4172. Holy shit. I did not expect these to be sequential. That's fucking amazing. Excuse my language. 2 sequential Sunshine Mining proof sets, a free silver England piece from 1937, a beautiful, never have I ever obtained this before, Brampton Johnson, Matthey, and Mallory bar, super low serial number. On top of that, we have a factory sealed Sunshine Mining serialized undated bar, 2 different types of Alaska Johnson Matthey rounds, and a beautiful nude heads tails rounds to go with the 1985 birthday Sunshine Mining round. I'm super excited to have been able to pick this stuff. I'm super thankful it was recovered and finally brought back to my front door, and I really hope you all enjoyed this wonderful and exhilarating unboxing for me. Cheers. Oh, and if you haven't had a chance to yet, be sure to check out our social media landing page at solo.to/silverbarstacker. There you can find our direct website link, which is silverbarstacker.com, as well as our links to our other social media channels, such as this very YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our TikTok page, our Twitter page, and we also have the link to our Whatnot page, which is where we actually run our live auctions and actually also have all of these same SBS drops that we hold. We run those same drops on our Whatnot store, and we also have live auctions happening literally all the time. So the way that you can be notified about those auctions is to be following us there on whatnot.com/user/silverbarstacker.